Hi and welcome back to our channel. Today's video is on York Comic Con Unleashed. This was a kind of like unexpected event because I ended up really actually enjoying the full layout of the place.
Yeah.
I like the way it was broken up in the building. It's not just one flat floor, that's it.
There's like 5 floors altogether. There's a ground floor and then
these are like mini floors.
Like other floors, yeah. So basically, if anyone's ever been to the York Racecourse before, it was like the whole building. So there was like the outside part when you're walking in had like loads of props there and people like working there that was like dressed up. And then obviously inside the racecourse itself.
If you've ever been to Unleashed event and also Monopoly event, for example, the Unleashed event, I think the biggest surprise for me for the full thing was the amount of people in costume.
Yeah.
And they weren't necessarily like the lower end of the costumes, so to say. I'd say a lot of them you could clearly sell and put a lot of effort in. Granted, there's a lot more anime and stuff that we don't know because we don't really watch anime, but it was still interesting to see that many people for what I thought was going to be a relatively small event. Yeah, it's not as like massive and as spread out as one of the Monopoly events, but the amount of stalls there, like independent stalls as well, was quite cool to see. Like
all floors, the ground floor and then the 4 other floors above was packed full of vendors. There was one floor where there was like a little bit with the 4 guests that went, but then still behind them there was still like vendors there.
Just normal vendors, yeah.
Yeah, so there was a lot of choice of things that you could buy. I think we sort of under budget.
Yeah, I wish I had more money because there was tons of new comics out there, like from like new writers and things like that. We even like bought one of them, which I'll show you shortly. It was so surprising how many vendors there actually was.
And there's lots of different things like Monopoly events, because we've been to a few now. They do have like a lot of recurring vendors, like Art of Fish, Dean of the Dead, the comic guy that does Gremlins and Hyena Man. We're seeing like quite a few vendors that are there at every single con. This one, it was like quite nice to see like the sheer amount of vendors that was there that we've never seen before. And there's like different things that you wouldn't think of, like the little cake pops. Yeah. Like the Marvel cake pops.
Yeah.
There was just the one pop stand. Whereas like at Monopoly there's a couple.
Yeah.
And then obviously there was like loads of different like comics. So we usually go to Slab City and Incognito because they do like specific comics that we're into, but then there was this one that we'd had a look at, which I've bought comics, which I'll show you, but they had like comics I've never seen before.
There was a good selection of comics as well, like, overall.
Yeah.
Again, not as big as the 2 main ones that you'll see at Monopoly, which was Slab City and Incognito. Obviously their stalls are massive for like comics, but these was about half the size, which doesn't sound much, but it is actually a decent amount of them.
I think it was nice to see like the different amount of comics that they had.
Yeah.
Like different things that we've never seen before.
I don't know. I genuinely really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It felt less, what's the word I'm looking for? Commercial. It genuinely seemed like just a group of people that are all interested in like the same type of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was rammed, but I don't know if this is a northern thing, but people like bumping into each other saying like sorry and something real simple like that really changes the experience that you have at these types of events and stuff. I was, again, I don't know, I'm still in a bit kind of like shock how
big it was.
Big it was.
Yeah.
But how well laid out it also was.
Yeah.
You also had fun things going on. I'll show you a clip now of two people from Star Trek. It's like a battle from it, and it's got like this specific music, and it's I think it's Kirk versus Spock. And having to like pretend fight each other basically to get off the planet. I think it's from that episode, but I can't remember what it's called. It was years and years and years ago since I've seen it. But it was really fun to watch. The spirit of it there was just like so strong, with people enjoying them. So I honestly recommend. I'd give it a solid 10 out of 10. Yeah, just as an early stage like prediction of what I thought about the event. I'd straight up 10 out of 10. It was incredibly fun.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I think it felt surreal because obviously the last con that we went to was For the Love of Fantasy in London, and obviously like there was some people dressed in cosplay but not a lot, and then to just go to York to an Unleashed event that we thought was going to be quite small, which turned out to be massive, and I felt a bit underdressed. Like I felt a bit weird that I wasn't in cosplay because everybody else was. And like, they had a lot of really good cosplay as well. I like the Beetlejuice one, that keeps sticking out to me. There was a guy dressed as Batman as well that was talking in the Batman voice, and it was quite funny to listen to.
Another really cool one was General Grievous.
Yeah.
The attention to detail in the suit was absolutely incredible.
Well, I just thought it was a prop at first.
Oh yeah, because he was like stood like still essentially, and then obviously they started to move.
I just saw these little feet moving. I was like, oh, there's somebody in there.
There's some really good costumes. One of my favourite ones in there. It's from Warhammer 40k. The attention to detail. Oh my god, it was so good. It sounds like it's a guy that makes them. I think it was his son that was in the costume. But yeah, absolutely incredible. So in terms of the food, that was the only slight letdown. There was only one vendor selling like hot food basically.
I don't think it was a vendor, it was the race course themselves.
Yeah, it was. The food I feel was quite overpriced. Again, I get why they do it. It's just a case of, should they do it? Almost £6 for a portion of fries. Nothing on them, just fries. It was equivalency of about a potato and a half that you got in terms of the portion for almost £6.
They were nice.
It was nice, but I just don't think for £6 it was that nice.
No. I can understand like £4 to £4.50 just for the chips on their own.
Yeah, I get it. Like a basic hot dog with onions, £7. Again, a little bit too pricey. A fava seems about fair for what you get. For £7, I'm expecting like the big American hot dog type situation. And then all the other food and stuff was like the most expensive thing on there was like £13.95.
I think it was a sandwich.
Yeah.
But like a hot sandwich, like a...
Yeah.
What's it called?
I'm sure it was like a steak and
something. It's like a Philly steak sandwich, something like that.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it's called. But
it was loaded.
Yeah.
It was like some type of loaded sandwich.
Then So they charge for like each individual item, so you couldn't have like a meal deal, for example, like, or you can have the hot dog and fries for like a tenner. It was, you have the hot dog and the fries as two separate things. They even had like a cold food section where you could get like sandwiches, which I went for that because it was the cheapest option, and I got a Wensleydale and chutney sandwich, I think it was. It was okay. The bread was quite dry, but it wasn't worth the £5 that I paid for it. And then again, the issue with the water, it was £2, I think, for a 500ml bottle. I think that's my only gripe with it, is because there was nothing else around.
Yeah.
It's not like in the XL where you could go outside and go to like a different food shop that's got nothing to do with the Comic-Con. This was like, that's your only option for food, unless you wanted to go downstairs and just eat sweet stuff all day.
Yeah, donuts and
There was donuts,
cookies,
brownies,
fudge.
Yeah, fudge, cookies, blondies, cake pops. There was like loads of like sweet like food that you could choose from. Just nothing savoury unless you went upstairs.
Yeah.
And try to find the cafe.
Oh yeah. So it said there's a big post as you walk in. There was saying that there's food, but it was like not hidden, but it wasn't easy to spot. So as you walked in, you assumed that there'd be some type of like signage or something that will point towards where the food would be. Took us a while. We got to the third floor, what we thought was like the last floor that you could get to. Turns out it's not. There is a secret doorway with some very steep stairs.
Because the sign just said York Cafe, or whatever it was, Unleashed Cafe on the third floor. So we went to the third floor and was like, no, it's just vendors. Like, where's this cafe that you speak of? And you had to go into the corridor, and then there was like a secret door to the left that you had to go up, and then go up another 2 flights of stairs to the third floor. In my opinion, that was like the 5th floor.
Yeah.
It was very high up. The stairs were very steep. I thought I was going to have a heart attack getting to the top of them. And then obviously there's the secret cafe.
Yeah, and it was a very big floor again. Tons of seating, like a lot of seating, like both indoor and outdoor. Even it wasn't very fun on the outdoor section because it was extremely windy pretty much for the full day.
But there was a very nice view, which you will be able to see here.
Instead, what I ended up doing, because I was really thirsty after eating the very salty food, I ended up going downstairs to what does like the American Japanese style like sweets and drinks, and got a normal can of Monster for £2, which I will take.
Granted, it was warm, but it'll do.
I'd rather pay the £2, get like almost double the amount of liquid with a better tasting drink, in my opinion, than pay £3.50 for a small fizzy beverage. I'd understood if it was like a San Pellegrino.
San Pellegrino?
Yeah.
San Pelli.
A San Pelli.
San
I'd have understood that for one of them cans because they are good carbonated
anyway.
drinks. They're expensive everywhere.
Yeah.
But not for like a basic can of Coke that I know that you can go to most shops and get it for about 80p to £1. But yeah, that's it. And even then, as I said, I wouldn't really class that as like enough to like deduct at any points. It wasn't terrible. It was just meh.
The food was alright. I really liked the chips.
Mm.
To say it was just like basic chips with salt and vinegar on, they were actually really nice. They're very crispy.
Yeah.
There was skin on fries as well, so very nice.
It's funny how we've turned something that's laziness into what's classed as like bougie.
I know.
I can't bother to skin it, they'll just eat with the skin on and we'll make it seem like it's the coolest thing ever. But it does add to the flavour and texture, so.
Well, I didn't try your hot dog because I was wearing a white hoodie, so I didn't really want to risk the chance of getting ketchup down myself, which I knew would happen. But I think out of like the sandwich and the chips was the nicest. So I think personally, and obviously it's not very nutritious, but if it was to go again, I'd just get the portion of chips because it was the same price, I think, for that as like the sandwich and the chips were like the same price. There wasn't much difference between them.
Yeah.
So, going back to pricing, if you wanted to get like a ham and cheese or ham and mustard sandwich, it was like £5.95.
It's absolutely insane.
Ridiculous.
It's a cold sandwich. Like, if that's the case, as we've said before, take your own pack up. Make your own sandwich at home. You know you're going to like it because it's a sandwich that you've made. You're going to wrap it in cling film, which means it's going to keep nice and moist. Yeah. But I mean,
it's a Tesco Express in York Town Centre, and you can get yourself the advanced meal deal for £5.
yeah.
Get yourself the bougie meal deal.
Because chances are
you
can walk the distance as well.
Yeah, that's another thing. So, before we went, because we've never been to the York Comic Con before, I was looking to see like how far away it was from the train station, and it did say that there was like a shuttle bus that could take you from the station to the race course. Now, I did not see no shuttle bus. Did you? So we just looked at it on Google Maps and was like, oh, it's not really that far, and it is an okay walk to do. I think it took about 25 minutes.
25 minutes, yeah.
So
it says 31 minutes on Google,
yeah,
but it doesn't. It takes about 25 minutes. I mean, I suppose unless you're an extremely slow walker, then fair enough. Yeah, it might take you a little bit longer. But for us, that walk at what I'd class as like a normal pace. Like, we're not exerting ourselves doing the walk. About 25 minutes.
But there was a lot of people that did the walk with us, and it wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
So again, if you're trying to save money, walk it.
Save yourself like 10 quid's worth of travel fees.
I think the Ubers, I was checking, they had like a discount, but like the normal price, it was anywhere between £5 to £7, depending on the time of the day. So there was lots of different props there, things that we've never seen at like different cons before, which again, I get because it's a different event. Outside, when you first walked in, you could see there was a bumblebee. Next to it there was Optimus Prime, which we have seen at Monopoly events before, but I think this is a different one. There was like a white car that had loads of Star Wars like stickers all over it, and there was the Jurassic Park Jeep, and then there was one car, I don't know if it's from something, I think it is, but if it is, I don't know what it is.
It might be Batman Arkham Knights.
Okay.
I can't remember if there was like an element to it, but it was like the grungy thing version, but there was a car basically there what you could
draw on.
Yeah, there was a guy stood there handing out chalks, and they said obviously
do whatever you want, but if you wanted to do something rude, which people had already done, you have to do it on the top so the children can't see. So I panicked and just wrote my name with a little love heart. And I've only just realised somebody else called Holly has done it right next to me, but they spell theirs wrong with an I and an E.
They spell theirs wrong.
It is wrong. There was also a media company that you spoke to. They do their own little, you know, the strip books that you can like flick through, and it does the little animation.
Right.
You were speaking to them, and they had a Spider-Man suit. They had a Spider-Man suit, and I took a photo of it. It was really cool. And then midway through the conversation, he decided to tell us that it was from Spider-Man Brand New Day.
Yeah.
That's just been filmed.
Well, they're still filming.
He said that they've wrapped.
Did they?
Yeah.
Ah, fair enough.
Yeah.
But still, yeah, it was pretty cool.
One of his friends was wearing it because obviously I think it was like used as like a stunt.
They was doing a photo shoot.
Yeah. And then obviously there was like a massive crowd, which he showed us the photo, because they thought it was Tom Holland.
Yeah.
In his new suit, but it wasn't.
But they ended up using his suit as well.
Yeah.
I think they did some videos with him, the actual studio. Mhm. So it was pretty cool.
Yeah. It was very, very cool to look at. Another prop that was there is something that we've seen at the Hull Unleashed before, and it's the Bumblebee suit. There's a guy in it that walks around.
Yeah.
I think it's a really good suit, to be honest.
It is.
It must be very uncomfortable and warm to wear, but whoever's wearing it, they do it well. Like, it's really good.
There was also outside a whole pirate section where you could do like little sword fights and stuff. They had one of the one that was like a medieval punishment thing where you put your head and your hands through basically, and you got to throw sponges at the guy that was like put inside of it.
50p. You could throw a sponge at him.
So that was also quite fun.
Felt real bad for him because it got really cold and windy at one point. I can't think of what else. When you walked in, you were greeted by the staff in the cosplay. There was a few Star Trek people. There was a woman dressed as the fairy godmother from Shrek, which I have noticed is quite a popular cosplay. That's like the third or fourth one I've seen this year.
Yeah.
What else was there?
Just to add to this as well, the queue to get in was massive.
Yeah. I think we were waiting in the queue longer to get into the York Racecourse than we were for like Birmingham, Manchester,
and
London.
One cool thing to add to it, to add to that. When we was queuing, the company Nerds had sent out a guy in a quick costume and a massive bag of these like little nerd gummy things, and they were just handing them out for free.
Yeah. We got 2 packs each.
Yeah. And it's a nice little touch to add to it.
Yeah.
Especially for everyone loves a freebie.
Yeah, and then there was other people dressed in cosplay. I don't know if they were a part of Unleashed. So there was man was queuing. There was people like dressed as stormtroopers, Darth Vader. There was a little boy dressed as
It was a Jawa.
And he had like a little gun that like made the noises and like spoke how they spoke. Like a little edit that out because I don't know how to speak. But yeah, that was quite cool. And then they were a part of that skeleton crew thing, weren't they?
Yeah, because they had 2 other like prop setups where there was like a throne that you could sit in. It looks like it was a throne from it's got Luke in it. Which one?
But yeah, there was a lot of like people dressed as Star Wars for this specific prop, and they were like walking up and down while she was queuing to get in.
Interacting with people.
Got a high five from a stormtrooper.
Oh yeah, because that stormtrooper stood behind me in the queue and I didn't see him for a good couple of seconds.
He gave me a high five and then he just stood behind you and was just like with his hand on his hip, just staring at you until you turned around and went, hello. But yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot more interactions with people in cosplay.
Oh, there was the guy dressed up as like a Obi-Wan.
Yeah, we sent to see. I don't know if it's the same guy, but I see him at pretty much every single Comic-Con. I didn't know it'd be at one of the Unleashed, but the guy must. It's rather a different guy. It's the same guy who just loves all Comic-Cons, which is pretty cool.
There was on one of the floors a full Pokemon setup.
Yeah. Loads of the different first gen Pokemon in like the unevolved states. Which is pretty cool and unexpected because you just kind of turn the corner, it was like there.
Yeah. Which was pretty cool.
But yeah, there was a ton of props there and pretty good props as well.
Yeah. Moving on. The guests. So there was only 4 guests. The Unleashed ones, they're not as big as Monopoly in terms of like
budget and
yeah. So there's only like 3 or 4 guests that go to each of them, I believe.
Yeah, it's the same.
I think there's only like 2 or 3 that went to the whole one. Some people you'll know of. So the first guest that they had was Peter Davidson, who was a doctor from Doctor Who. Then Phil, Fletcher and Hackatea Dog, which you've seen before, but again, I've no idea who he is, but he had this little puppet.
It's really only the British people that will know who he is. So he was a TV presenter. Growing up as a kid, when you wake up in the morning, you'd watch TV and it'd have people like him on it with his puppet. Like a
CBBC thing?
Yeah.
Okay. And then there was, I don't know how to pronounce his last name, so I'm going to give this a good go, Tom Rosenthal from Friday Night Dinner and Plebs.
Yeah.
Who we managed to get a selfie with.
Yeah. Tom sounds exactly the same as what he does in everything that he plays. Yeah. He's funny in person as well. It's not just like a for TV type situation. Yeah. He has Again, he was having like a good chat with people that was coming to get photos and autographs with him. Again, he seemed a bit shocked that there was, because he was the only person that had like a couple of queues for him.
Yeah.
Not massive queues, but there's still people queuing to see him, and I think that shocked him a little bit. I don't know if he was expecting to have that type of reception from people. Managed to talk to him, asked him what he was doing, like what he's like in terms of now job-wise, and he's doing a lot of comedy stand-up. And I asked the question, obviously, if he would come back for any of the series like Plebs or Friday Night Dinner. And he said he would be definitely down for it because he loved doing them, and he's actually turned down roles.
Yeah, because they're not as funny as the things that he's done before, or he doesn't think they're going to be as funny. Because it was like things like Friday Night Dinner and Plebs, he was like, you can't really top them.
No. I think as well, it's not that it's not, because obviously these are British TV shows.
Yeah.
They're not like AAA movies or anything. I genuinely think as an actor he could definitely be part of stuff like that. I think he chooses not to. So we didn't manage to buy much. As we said, we didn't take as much money as what we should have. Because we was kind of not expecting it to be as big as what it was. However, I did buy a new comic book, just to add to the collection of new stuff I wanted to read. This comes from, I'm going to call him a new artist and writer, because it's not something that you see very often like Marvel or DC comics or The Boys and such and such. This is called Space Axolotl. This one is called Mars Attaxolotl. And as you can see from the front of it, if you ever watched anything like War of the Worlds, and obviously there's Mars Attacks as well, these are old stories, so you can tell it's been influenced by that with a modern cartoon style. But yeah, gonna do a review on this. I've already read it.
I need to read it.
So yeah, so that's one of the things that we've bought. Then Holly, as usual.
So I've got another Spider-Man comic, because why not? This one, it's got Spider-Man, which looks like one of his new suits, to be honest, with Wolverine. It's very cool.
So it's the Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Comic.
To be fair, I've got quite a few of the Amazing Spider-Man, and only a couple of just normal Spider-Man, but same dude. So that's one of the comics. And the second comic that I found, it's a comic that I've never seen before and never knew that they actually did comics, and obviously it's like a full throwback to nostalgia. There's a Scooby-Doo one. There's a brand new like comic franchise that we've never seen.
Not new.
No, but I've never seen it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's DC Comics at the top. Because obviously the detecting group, aren't they? The detectives look for ghosts and stuff, which kind of makes sense.
But if I find any more of these, I'll be collecting this as well as Spider-Man, because I love Scooby-Doo.
Also, the artwork is quite fun to look at.
Yeah. Very, very cool. But that is
just our short haul.
Our small haul. I have got a point about money that you've just reminded me. So, something that I would recommend if you do end up going to York Racecourse, like the Unleashed events or any Unleashed events, I'm just putting it out there. When you can buy tickets in advance on their Unleashed website. It's £12 per person, but it's an advance ticket, so you can get in from 10 o'clock in the morning. If you don't want to do that, you can buy tickets on the door, but that gives you entry from 11 till 5, so you've got like an hour less. But they only take cash on the door, you can't pay with card. So if you are just going to turn up like we did, you'll need to take cash with you. And I do also recommend just taking cash with you anyway for the vendors, because they had an internet issue. They did say that some of their like contactless things were playing up in the morning. So take cash with you, because the cash machines that they have in the building itself, they charge you to take money out, because it's not like a built-in cash machine, it's one of the normal standing ones. So it cost me £2 to take 20 quid out. So, and with York Racecourse being like in the middle of nowhere, there is no like other cash machines that you can use. It's just what they have in store. So I would recommend take cash with you to pay on the door and for the vendors. That is it.
So with that, thank you very much for watching. We hope you enjoyed, and we will see you in the next one. Bye bye.